I decided to make another video and kind of comment on the videos that I did before, mainly because some people really misunderstood the message that I was trying to bring to people. I did not mean that the stock market hit a bottom by any means. In fact, the title of the video is Why the Stock Market is Far from a Bottom. What I really wanted to focus on in this video is the whole thing about when you should start buying. Because, many of you have been patient, have been following the thesis from 4,600 last year all the way now to around 3,500. And what I really want people to kind of know is that in those stock market crashes, people get too pessimistic when it's the time to get optimistic. This is just the way people are, and most retail investors are. Stock markets going up like last year, they get excited, they get greedy, everything is fine. When we go down, you're already seeing videos from popular YouTubers that it's gonna be the end of the world. And it might not be the end of the world. And this is the kind of, thing I want to kind of explain to people, that as we go down in the stock market, crash, and maybe the buying opportunity comes, most of you maybe are not going to see it if you let your negative bias and all those negative videos actually affect your judgment. After being called a perma bear and making videos, from September, even from December, when people were calling, the stock market crash is huge, and we were still 4,600. I said the real market crash hasn't even started yet. I only got 600 views. Now I got thousands of views. Why is that happening? Because it wasn't so popular in December. Even in September when I was making those videos, I got 300 views. So this is the whole thing I want to kind of, talk about. For example, if I make a video right now, why is the market gonna recover? I'm not gonna get a lot of views because the main bias is that we're gonna go down, and which is true. But what I'm trying to prepare for is you're gonna see me a couple months from now when we hit 3,000 or any good buying level that I'm going to see. I'm going to be making bullish videos. I'm gonna be from the perma bear to the perma bull. And you're gonna be very surprised about the videos that I'm going to make. And I'm sure most people would still be making negative videos. And this is the whole thing I really want to talk about. For example, in 2009, this is someone named Harry Dent. I'm sure many of you know him. And he's a pretty smart person, and he had a lot of things right in 2008, and even right now. But even right now, he's predicting a 94% crash or an 87% crash. Now, to me, that's beyond imagination, but this is what he's predicting. And he's a pretty smart person. Now, in 2009, he said, sell all the stocks that kind of recovered from 2008. He said, sell everything, you kind of hold a lot of cash because we're going to have a great depression than the recession we had in 2008. So you should just, get out, hold all cash, and the world was going to end. Now, let's assume you actually listened to him and you sold all your stocks despite having a lot of good valuation. Many stocks were trading, 10, 11 times earnings. They used to trade at 30 times earnings with amazing, moats, and even Costco stock and many other kind of stocks. They were just trading cheap. But if you just sold them, because we're going to have a worse depression, and you let your negative bias kind of affect you, what happened is you missed on the greatest bull run in the history of the stock market. I mean, imagine if that happened. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Harry Dent, but I'm just kind of giving an example to show people that you cannot let your negative bias control you. And I believe my goal from here on now is as we go down in this market crash, we're still 3,500, as we go down, you're going to see more and more bearish videos. And somewhere along the line, we're going to have a good buying opportunity. And I'm going to be the one that points out this buying opportunity and actually turn a little bit more bullish when everyone was bearish. Just the same thing as last year. People were bullish, everything was fine, and I was bearish and I got no views. And the same thing is going to happen this time, and I'm actually pretty excited to do it and to show the people that call me a perma bear seeing me a perma bull. Just because I don't let my emotions and my bias kind of control me. And I want the same thing from the people who are watching this video, as we did pretty well holding on and being, pretty conservative from 4,600s to 3,500s. We don't want to ruin this track record just because, we want the market to go to 1,500. I want the market to go to 1,500 also, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. And it might happen, who knows? But we're going to know along the way. So this is my whole thing in this video. For example, many people show, those kind of charts that we're gonna go, down a lot. This is the correlation from 2008. And it kind of, makes you feel that, the world's gonna end. But at the same time, you can have look at those charts, and there's also for the bulls. If you kind of look, it also has a pretty good correlation, 90% correlation, and it shows a massive recovery in the stock market. So what this person is saying on, Twitter, which is very smart, that, there are charts for the bears and there are charts for the bulls. And we cannot just take kind of one chart on one technical analysis and say, this is it. This is what I'm going to focus on. I don't personally do that, and this is where the bias kind of, we let our emotions control us. And I don't want this to happen to the people that have been watching my YouTube videos since pretty much very few people were talking about the crash. For example, what I do, what I did, and I will do, and I will always do for the rest of my life, is if I find something, undervalued, whatever it is, and I look at the macroeconomics, I look at everything, and I see that those earnings are likely to somewhat hold up in the future. If I see this happening, I buy a small position. If we're going in a market crash like now, and then let's assume we crash more, then I increase it a little bit, and then I increase it a little bit, and then by the time we're done, I kind of have a pretty good position, a large position with an amazing cost basis. This is the way I always done it, mostly on kind of valuations, because as we're going down, for example, now Google is at 17 PE, all right. Now if we continue crashing, Google is going to be around the 14 or 15 PE. For such an amazing company with over 10% of the market cap being in cash, I mean, that's pretty amazing. And that's going to be a pretty good buying opportunity in my opinion. But you're going to have some people who are going to say, no, you should not buy Google, because the world is going to end. Or because some chart is saying that we're going to go down to 12 or 1300 on the S&P. Therefore, you shouldn't buy Google right now. Now, actually, it might happen, and we may go to 1300. But if you see Google at 14 or 15 PE, why not buy a small position? This is my whole idea with kind of doing those videos, because I don't want people to wait for 1300 and it may not happen. And then something happens like what happened with Harry Dent. And then you have you did everything right. You were patient. You were fearful when others were greedy in 2021. And you kind of did all those things just to blow it away, because, you kind of wanted to wait for complete doom or for a nuclear war. So this is, what I was, trying to say, that I believe that discipline kind of really wins the race, in the future. And if you average in slowly, you don't get FOMO. For example, let's say you buy, 1% in Google, right? And then Google goes up 10%. Don't say, oh, I wish I bought more. I mean, just wait. And then it goes back down. And then you buy a little bit more. So this is, kind of what I was trying to say. I hope most of you actually understood what I meant, because you've been watching my videos, and I have a good relationship with the people in the comments, and I learned a lot of things from the people in the comments. They also give me a lot of suggestions, which is amazing. So I really kind of enjoy this YouTube thing, and I did not want people to kind of ruin everything they did just because they were waiting for complete doom. Whenever you see a deal in the market, whenever you see value and you believe the earnings are going to hold up, why not buy a small position? So this is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press the like button and maybe consider subscribing. So I hope to see you in another video.